Do you think that you have a muse? And if so, what does he or she or they look like?
So initially when I first started working, I did a lot of work on body positivity for women. So women in general were my muse. And then that shifted into mental health. So my muse would be more broad topics. So I guess my muse would be there's this Tom Waits lyric I love, which is, I love beautiful melodies telling me terrible things. Mm-hmm. So I make my art, you mentioned, it's colorful, it's pretty, it's beautiful. I like to think that makes it accessible to people. So if I'm talking about mental health, if I'm talking about eating disorders, if I'm talking about suicide, and those are the things I'm painting about, it could be really scary and off-putting to people and jarring to see that in an image. And so I try to paint these things in a way that is very accessibly beautiful to people. So if I had a muse, I don't know, dare I say the human condition?
Could you describe maybe your series, the Octopus series, and sort of what it looks like and what it meant to you and the progression of those 3 paintings?
Yeah, so only the last one's an octopus. It is a series about mental health, and each of the pieces is a woman being inhabited by different degrees by an animal. So the first one, it's a very shy fox that's just creeping up on her. The second one, it's a bird that has made a nest in her hair, so it's starting to inhabit her thoughts. It's starting to encroach on her life, inconvenience her a little. It's noticeable now to other people. And in the third one, it's the painting of an octopus, and it's hard to tell where her limbs and the octopus begins. There's an eyeball coming out of the top of her head, which insinuates that the octopus is in fact eating her. And that was came from a piece of information I read, that when the octopus is stressed, it eats itself, which is in fact the title of that painting.
Oh, fabulous.
Yeah, and so there she is, completely all consumed by her mental illness.
So tell me, can you just describe the color palette that you used in those 3 paintings? Because you were just saying that you try and use vibrant and beautiful colors not to scare off your audience.
Yeah, those ones are primarily like bright, juicy mango, oranges and yellows paired with teals and, dark blues.
They're beautiful. I've called my show The Artist Studio. I'm stealing from James Lipton's The Actor's Studio. And so the next set of questions are kind of rapid fire questions.
Okay.
One of them is going to ask you about your favorite curse word, but it's going to be your favorite radio approved curse word. So it's coming up.
Oh no.
So think about something a little more gentle than you might normally think. But the first question is, what is your favorite word?
I don't know if it's my favorite word, but my sons have told me repeatedly that I overuse the word exquisite. And that's how I'd like to see the world. It's really quite exquisite.
I love that.
Yeah.
What is your least favorite word?
Oh, I don't know, anything mean. It's not even what the word is, it's how it's said.
Right.
I'm so disappointed in people that are mean to people and look down on animals. And so it's not a word, it's a tone.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what turns you on?
Kindness.
Kindness.
Yeah.
Love that. What turns you off?
Meanness.
What is your favorite radio curse word?
Man, I have a sailor's mouth. I don't know if I can answer that. Drat.
Drat. Ooh, that's a good old
Clearly,
one.
I don't say radio safe curse words very often.
I think we're going to practice that this week. It's going to be drat.
Okay,
I like that.
Drat.
What sound do you love?
Talking about healing things. So we can talk about this. I recently had a cancer diagnosis, and I'm easily overwhelmed by sound. I'm also on the autism spectrum, and I have a really hard time with a lot of sounds. But right now I'm sleeping in, and my cat laying on my chest with his loud healing purr.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, it's all I hear when I wake up in the morning is this loud chortling purr. Yeah.
So can I ask you, it's not on my list here, but how a cancer diagnosis has influenced your art recently?
Recently, it definitely has. If you've been on my Instagram feed at all, you'll see that my work is becoming more cheerful. There's a lot of hot pink. There's a lot of humor. I started painting my favorite Instagram famous cats, and just funny little things like that. It's more portable. I have less time to work. I'm constantly at the moment in medical appointments, so I have way less time. So if I can do a little tiny 4x4 painting in an afternoon, I'm going to do it. So it's happier.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's irony.
It is.
And it's also
Yeah.
beauty.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm glad to hear that that you're continuing on. Because sometimes people hear that horrible C word and it'll make them stop.
I know.
Yeah, I'm really proud
The
of
C
you.
word's my favorite radio safe. No. Fun one. No, I know what you mean. But I went to my therapist the other day. I actually wrote about this. So, but when I heard I got cancer, I was like, okay, I think I knew that. I had actually found out 3 weeks previous that I might have cancer, and then they do all the tests, and then they come back and say, yes, you do. And that was hard to hear. But I went to my therapist because I was doing all right, and then my car broke down on the side of the road, and then I broke down on the side of the road, same day. And then I thought, well, shit. So I went to my drat. I went to my therapist, and she said something to me that was harder than hearing I had cancer, which was, cancer is very humbling.
Oh, interesting.
And I didn't want that. I didn't want to be humbled in that way, you know.
So what is the fear of humility? Accounting on other people?
Yeah.
Or? Yeah.
Yeah, asking other people for help, accepting help from me. I like to be pretty darn independent, and I this horrible feeling that even that I let my sons down by getting cancer. I had this horrible thought that, I let them down. Mommy's sick.
Oh.
And I know they're adults. They're 25 and 27.
They're always your babies.
But they're my babies, and I had that was the biggest feeling, is that I let them down.
I've met your sons,
Yeah.
and I can tell you unequivocally how very proud of their mother they are.
Mm-hmm.
They often attend to Angela's art openings, and that's where I've met them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the next question.
Yeah.
What profession other than your own would you like to attempt or wish that you had attempted?
Well, I was a teacher, but one of the things I really wanted to be growing up my whole life was a veterinarian. And I occasionally regret that I didn't become a veterinarian. But now that I'm getting old and a different type of person, man, I wish I was a librarian.
Yes, a librarian.
Yeah.
What profession would you hate to do?
Well, I don't actually like anything that involves being around a lot of people.
Okay.
Actually.
So the librarian would have been okay
drat.
if you had, yeah, drat.
No, there's people there. Yeah.
What would you do differently if you were not afraid of judgment or failure?
I grew up not believing that I was beautiful.
Oh,
And so now as an adult, any attempt to sort of feel that way, I feel vain. And if I could go back to that little girl, that little ragamuffin on the farm with hay in her hair, and tell her what a cutie patootie, beautiful little kid she was, I would do that. And I would not feel any embarrassment that I was being judged for being vain. It affects everything from self-care to how you let people treat you.
correct.
Right? It's a bigger than just than a vanity issue.
Outside,
Yeah.
outside appearance. That's so
yeah,
true.
Yeah.
Okay, and here's the final question.
Okay.